The film begins with teenage Tina Gray having a nightmare about a disfigured man wearing a blade-fixed glove attacking her in a boiler room. She wakes up screaming, and her mother notices 4 mysterious slashes on her nightgown. The following day, Tina's best friend, Nancy Thompson, and her boyfriend, Glenn Lance, console her, revealing that they too had nightmares the previous night. Later, when Tina's mother goes out of town, Tina, Nancy, and Glenn stay at Tina's house, and Tina dreams of the disfigured man chasing her. Her boyfriend, Rod Lane, awakens to her thrashing and sees her being dragged and fatally slashed by an unseen force. Rod is forced to flee as Nancy and Glenn awaken to find Tina bloodied and dead. The police arrest Rod despite his pleas of innocence, and Nancy begins to experience nightmares about the same man. She visits Rod in jail, who describes Tina's death and his own recent nightmares, making Nancy believe that the man killed Tina. She then depends on caffeine to stay awake and invites Glenn to watch over her as she sleeps. In her dream, Nancy sees the man prepare to kill Rod in his cell but then turns his attention towards her. Nancy runs away and wakes up when her alarm clock goes off. The man kills Rod by wrapping bed sheets around his neck, staging it as a suicide via hanging. At Rod's funeral, Nancy's parents become worried when she describes her dreams, and her mother takes her to a sleep disorders clinic where, in a dream, Nancy grabs the man's fedora, with the name Freddy Krueger written in it, and pulls it into the real world. After barricading the house, Nancy's mother explains that Krueger was an insane child murderer who killed 20 children but was released on a technicality and then burning alive by the victims' parents living on their street seeking vigilante justice. Nancy realizes that Krueger, now a vengeful ghost, is killing her and her friends out of revenge and to satiate his psychopathic needs. Nancy tries to call Glenn to warn him, but his father prevents her from speaking to him. Glenn falls asleep and is killed by Krueger. Now alone, Nancy puts her mother to sleep and asks her father, who is across the street investigating Glenn's death, to break into the house in 20 minutes. Nancy rigs booby traps around the house and grabs Krueger out of the dream and into the real world. The booby traps affect Krueger enough that Nancy can light him on fire and lock him in the basement. Nancy rushes to the door for help, but the police arrive to find that Krueger has escaped from the basement. Nancy and her father go upstairs to find a burning Krueger smothering her mother in her bedroom. After her father extinguishes the fire, Krueger and her mother vanish into the bed. When her father leaves the room, Krueger rises from the bed behind Nancy. Realizing that Krueger is powered by his victim's fear, she calmly turns her back to him. Krueger evaporates when he attempts to lunge at her. Nancy steps outside into a bright and foggy morning where all her friends and her mother are still alive. She gets into Glenn's convertible to go to school when the green and red striped top suddenly comes down and locks them in as the car drives uncontrollably down the street. 3 girls in white dresses playing jump rope are heard chanting Krueger's nursery rhyme as Nancy's mother is grabbed by Krueger through the front door window.